Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. The LeBron media fanboys, they have a criteria for LeBron James against Michael Jordan. And these same LeBron media fanboys, they're also supposedly Michael Jordan fans, right? Who put Jordan at number one. Your Chris Broussards, your Stephen A. Smiths, these type of characters, right? They put Jordan at number one, but they're really LeBron fans, right? Let's check out the criteria for LeBron and Michael Jordan when they go at it, right? Your Stephen A. Smiths, your Chris Broussards, your Nick Wrights, all these type of guys, right? Let's check out their criteria. And then the same criteria that they use on Michael Jordan and LeBron James, it does not count for Kareem, Wilt, Magic, these guys, right? It doesn't count. Or Bill Russell. You just came up for a certain criteria for Michael Jordan versus LeBron, but for the other guys, it doesn't count. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So for Michael Jordan, we've all heard this from, your Chris Broussards, supposed to be this basketball intelligent guy that, is supposed to be intellectual as far as telling the history of basketball. Man, I ain't even gonna get into it. I ain't even gonna get into it. He's a fraud. And then you have your Stephen A. Smiths that say the same thing about Michael Jordan. Their argument, which is I like it. It's decent. This is what I come with too. Six championships, 6 Finals MVPs, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 3 steals titles, and a Defensive Player of the Year. Now I could come with way more than that, but this is their argument, and it's really no different than mine. So that ain't where my beef is, right? And then you hear your Shannon Sharps, you hear your Nick Wrights, and these type of guys, right? They'll say LeBron has 4 championships. Even Stephen A. Smith will use this, right, as being the second greatest player of all time, and Chris Broussard will use this too, right? When they say, they try to argue and apologize first for not putting LeBron number one, but they'll say, I know the man has 4 championships, 4 Finals MVPs, 4 MVPs. And then they'll use some stupid stuff like he's been to 10 finals, right? There's no award for that. They don't never use his statistical titles, right? They don't ever say a scoring title, an assist title. How come they leave that out? But when the Chris Broussards and the Stephen A. Smiths, when they say Jordan, they say 10 scoring titles, 3 steals titles, and a Defensive Player of the Year. But nobody never mentions LeBron's 1 assist title and 1 scoring title. Ooh, that makes him look dumb. That makes him look dumb. But let me show you how they don't use the same criteria on everybody else. Because now you're stuck, your Chris Broussards and your Stephen A. Smiths, when you say Jordan got 6 championships, 6 Finals MVPs, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 3 steals titles, and a Defensive Player of the Year. So that's their criteria. The Stephen A. Smiths, the Chris Broussards. So where's that criteria for the rest of the people? For the rest of these great players, like Bill Russell, Kareem, Magic, Wilt Chamberlain. So let's use that same thing, right? That same criteria. The championships, the Finals MVPs, the MVPs, and the statistical titles, and the Defensive Player of the Year. You can't come off that now. You just used it for Jordan as being the greatest. So you're judging that against LeBron, which is fine with me, as an overall career of being the best. So let's use that right here. Bill Russell, 11 championships, 5 MVPs, 4 rebound titles, and they didn't have Finals MVP back then, which we know the man would have had about 5. So even if we don't count that, the Finals MVP, Bill Russell still had a greater career and was a better player than LeBron. Even if we take away his even if we take away his championships, he had a better career than LeBron, and he was a better player at his position. What is LeBron's position? You can't say point guard. He's not a great passer. 7 assists per game, that's trash. 7 rebounds a game at his height, his weight, that's trash. Bill Russell dominated his position and made sure his team won 11 championships and had 5 MVPs. LeBron was not better at his position than Bill Russell and was not a better winner than Bill Russell. And like I always said, if they had Defensive Player of the Year and block titles, what are we talking about? I'm using the same criteria that Stephen A. Smith, Chris Broussard, and the rest of the LeBron media, because that's what they are, uses for Michael Jordan, or they use for LeBron James. Look at it. Even Bill Russell, they don't count steals or blocks or Defensive Player of the Year, still was better with the 4 rebound titles. Go look at the guys he had to go against getting these rebounds. Not just Wilt Chamberlain. And was the best 4 times. And would have been on the first or second defensive team maybe all his career. Versus LeBron's 4 championships, 4 finals MVPs, 4 MVPs, 1 scoring title, 1 assist title. Again, your MVPs in the regular season, that 27, 7, and 7, where's all your statistical titles? Where's it at? You played for 21 seasons and only has 4 championships? Let's go down to Kareem. Let's use the same logic that they used for Michael Jordan against LeBron, right? 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, or my fault, 6 championships, 6 MVPs, 2 finals MVPs, a block title, 4 rebound titles, and 2 scoring titles. So the same logic and the same criteria that they use for Michael Jordan, when you use it on Kareem versus LeBron, it's no contest. What are you talking about? Kareem at his position was more dominant, and he was more of a winner. What are we talking about? ESPN and Fox look at the criteria they use for Michael Jordan, but won't use that same criteria for Bill Russell, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic, versus LeBron. They won't use that same criteria. If you can't use that same criteria for these guys as you do for Jordan, you can't use that same criteria for Michael Jordan. It makes no sense. Wilt Chamberlain, 2 championships, 4 MVPs, 1 finals MVP, 7 scoring titles, 11 rebound titles, 1 assist title. It's the same criteria that they're using for Michael Jordan. Wilt Chamberlain was a better player than LeBron James, and it's not even close. And this is where the LeBron fans get exposed when they try to say it was a team accomplishment, championships. Take those championships away from LeBron. What does he have? Where's his statistical titles? How did he get 4 MVPs with 27, 7, and 7? What? Because most of these guys right here, they was winning statistical titles just to get their MVPs in the regular season. They was dominant at their position. They was dominant as a rebounder. They was dominant as a scorer, as a defender, at different things. LeBron has never been dominant at nothing, and you could tell with his statistical titles. Never. 2 times in 21 seasons, he was dominant at passing and scoring. 1 time, All these other guys in the league for 19 years was more dominant than him at passing, scoring, blocks, rebounds, assists, steals. This was the NBA that these guys came up in. This was the bar right here to make you great. You led the league in statistical categories. That's what made you great. Since LeBron couldn't do it, they try to change they try to change everything in NBA to fit around him because he's not a great rebounder. He's not a great among the great scorers. I wouldn't say he would be top 10 great scorer of all time. Consistent, yeah. Not a great passer. And when we talk about passing, we're talking about floor generals. A floor general is somebody who averages 10 assists or more a game. The Chris Pauls, your Nash, your Kidd, your Stocktons, your Magics, maybe Bob Cousy. These type of guys. These are floor generals that run the offense. Oh, you're not going to see that no more. That pretty much don't exist no more. You don't have floor generals because you're not playing basketball no more. You're playing some little, I don't know what game they're playing. They're playing some some gimmick game. That's what they're doing. Thanks to the commissioner, he wanted to turn the game into some, I don't know what they call it. 4 guys sitting at the 3-point line. It's not basketball. Just take away the defensive line and offensive line in football and just hike the ball. And you don't have nobody rushing the quarterback. And you keep the running back and you keep the wide receivers and do what you got to do. You think that's football? The NFL just said they want to make the game faster. We don't need an offensive line or defensive line. But the quarterback, he can't run. He got to stay in the pocket. He can't cross the line. Is this really football anymore? Would anybody watch this crap? Oh yeah, we did that so we can get people in here that that don't know how to play football to make the game easier. I don't know what the NBA has done. So yeah, apparently the same criteria that is used for Michael Jordan, when you use it on Wilt, this ain't in any particular order right here. I didn't put these guys in order, but most people, they don't see my top 5 or whatever like that. I'm just saying. I'm trying to see how ESPN doesn't use the same criteria for everybody else that they use on LeBron and Jordan. So, yeah, Wilt would have all kind of defensive players of the year, defensive first or second team every year, block titles. What are we talking about? We already know LeBron James ain't even seeing Wilt as a basketball player. We're not talking about some media hype. We're not talking about some narratives. We're talking about as a basketball player. Oh, Wilt melted down. So did LeBron. So did LeBron. His first 11 seasons in the playoffs. Or missing the playoffs. Meltdown in the finals. What's the difference? These are regular season playoffs. Regular season and finals stats. LeBron just ain't seeing Wilt. It's never going to happen. Not even close. So when we go down to Magic Johnson, the same criteria. The same thing. We're talking about the same thing. 5 championships, 3 MVPs, 3 finals MVPs, 4 steal titles. 2 steals titles, 4 assist titles. When we look at these statistical titles, it tells you how great of a player you was on the court. Yearly. You was the best in assists. You was the best in scoring. You was the best in blocks. You was the best in steals, etc. This was the goal. The goal wasn't to be like in the middle. That wasn't the goal. It was to be the best on the court. That's what it was about. I mean, let's tell the truth. Because Magic, he could have been like, well, I got Kareem. Why try to win 4 assist titles? I could win no assist titles and still be winning these championships. Uh, why try to get 2 steals titles? We can still win a championship. Statistical titles tells how much you hustled, um, your fundamentals, your passion, and you were trying to be the best that season and trying to be dominant in that statistical category. Michael Jordan said, well, I'm going to win these 10 scoring titles. Well, when it come down to it and you got to hit big shots, guess what? You can look back at those statistical titles. Because he was a dominant scorer. When you look back at it and you had to have that certain pass or be a floor general, you could look back at those assist titles and say, man, I did this a million times. I was the best at it. This is familiar. This is easy. Same thing with blocks. Same thing with steals. Same thing with rebounds. I mean, you look at some of these guys like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and you look at LeBron. Where's the statistical titles? And it just exposes what kind of player he really is. Because this was the bar. This was the bar that was always set before these guys with these statistical titles that made them the best. And the only way you could be winning these MVPs in the regular season was more than likely you had to have statistical titles. Sometimes the bar I think, was lowered for certain guys. I'm not going to say no names, but for the most part, yes. I think the bar did get lowered in the 2000s, 2010s to win MVP. We won't even talk about that. But I'm talking about this same criteria that ESPN uses, Fox uses in this Jordan versus LeBron GOAT debate. They don't want to use it on nobody else. Because it turns out that LeBron isn't a top 5 player. Michael Jordan. This is their criteria, right? Stephen A. Smith, the Chris Broussards, and these type of guys that put Michael Jordan at number 1. Even Skip Bayless, right? He uses the same criteria. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 3 steals titles, defensive player of the year. Well, there you go. LeBron ain't even looking at Jordan. It's no comparison. But again, he's not even sniffing Magic, Kareem, Wilt, or Russell. It's not possible. As a basketball player, as a winner, as an offensive player, as a defensive player, this is what you're looking at. In statistical titles. Right? Statistical titles, championships, an offensive player, and on defense. How can LeBron see any of these guys? I mean, it's laughable. And no, I don't put Kobe in here. The only reason I don't put Kobe in here, I'm talking about when we talk about statistical titles, we're talking about being the best in the league yearly at steals, blocks, scoring, rebounding, this stuff like that. I'm going to ask you, Where are all Kobe's statistical titles? If he knew the bar was Michael Jordan, if he knew the bar was Magic, if he knew the bar was Wilt, Kareem, and Russell, how come he didn't try to go out there and get like 5 scoring titles? Yes, he's got two scoring titles, which is respectable. But all these 80-point games, 60-point games, 50-point games, 40-point games, they're just games. That didn't mean you led the league in all these years in scoring. And he let a lot of people lead the league in scoring all these years when Shaq left. I don't remember who it is. I think it was like Kevin Durant. I had to go back and look at it. I know one year was LeBron James. You guys got to remind me. Wasn't it Westbrook? I'm not sure. I don't think it was. I think he was already retired. But yeah, he only had 2 scoring titles, which means somebody outscored him all those times when him and Shaq broke up. Where's the steals titles? He made the defensive team all those years and didn't even have a 200 steals. Never had 100 blocks. Jordan had 6 seasons of 200 plus steals and 2 seasons of 100 plus blocks. So that's why I can't put Kobe on here. Is he a better player than LeBron? I think he is. I think he got robbed of some MVPs, maybe 2. And to me, if LeBron goes down with the Balco, I give those MVPs to Kobe Bryant. Another thing is Kobe Bryant had a chance to what? Go to the Hornets and be his own man and start for that team. He didn't want to, and they sent him off to the Lakers. We all heard about if the Hornets picked Kobe Bryant, he wasn't going to go there. Simple as that. He could have started, but he went over there and he sat behind Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. They were just better, polished players at the time than Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant really never had no jump shot like Michael Jordan coming into the league. And I know he came out of high school. The league was way tougher back then. It was just a tougher era. LeBron maybe sat on the bench also if he went to a good team. But look where he went. He went to the Cavs. Cavs was trash. Kobe could have started for that team coming out of high school. Kevin Garnett, a lot of these players. So LeBron didn't do anything special, and the league was really weak by the time he came in. So the guy still couldn't even make the playoffs. That's, I mean, big deal. He started for the Cavs and couldn't even make the playoffs. So he was just in the league doing nothing. He didn't do nothing special. Shot 41% as a rookie. It was a minus 144 for the season as a rookie. Man, that man scored 20 points a game on 41% shoot. On 41% shooting? Man, that's nuts. That's horrible as a forward. So that's what I'm going to say about Kobe. Did he turn into a better player than LeBron? He was a great player. But I gotta stick to my criteria. That's just what it is. Okay, you guys going to get mad because Bird ain't on here. Bird has no statistical titles. I'm not taking Bird over none of these guys. It just ain't going to happen. Look at these guys' resume. It just ain't going to happen. Was Bird a great player? Yes. Would I take Bird over LeBron? Yes. Because I know Bird, he could have won more if he would not have got hurt. And maybe he could have got some more good free agents if he would not have got hurt. I mean, that Bird and Magic era just ended tragically, right? It went out tragically. Whew. And you saw how good Magic was. He was so good. Kareem left and he was back in the finals. My man was back in the finals. For all you guys said that, he needed Kareem. That's why he went to all these finals. What was he doing back in the finals in 91? I mean, what are we talking about? Magic Johnson was an inspiration to get dudes to play. Okay? That's why they was in the finals so much. He was the inspiration to get these guys going and playing on the court. That's why they were back in the finals in 91. He might have been back in the finals in 92 if all that didn't pop off. I mean, the dude was unstoppable. Go watch his highlights. You're just gonna have chill bumps. It's ridiculous. It don't even make sense how good this guy was. And he was a better shooter than LeBron, a better free throw shooter than LeBron, a better passer than LeBron. He was just a better player than LeBron. A better rebounder than LeBron. Come on. What are we talking about? When these guys come on TV talking this nonsense from Fox Sports and ESPN, they're bought and paid for, and they're trying to sell an agenda. And same thing with Duncan. He was a great player, but I'm sticking to my criteria. Tell me what you think.